Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Josh, I'm from Kane Productions, and today we're going to be talking about something the US government has never really opened up too much information about, and that is the 1968 B-52 crash in northwestern Greenland. So basically, this happened at a place called Thule. You can look it up on Greenland. It's basically a military base. It was a town, and they all got moved over to a different location so they could build the base. But basically, the situation that we had in this January 21st day was a B-52 aircraft, which are the very, very big cargo slash military carrying go-to plane. They're still in use today on a wide variety. But basically, this thing crashed. It had 7 crew. 6 of them survived with parachutes. The one guy died because there wasn't a 7th parachute on there for him. But basically, this flight was a part of something called the Chrome Zone, which was basically the U.S. constantly during the Cold War wanted to keep nuclear missiles in the air, so at any moment they could be, I think it was nothing more than like 15 minutes away from blowing up a location in Russia, or the Soviet Union, sorry. So basically what was going on is, because as we all know, the Danish government claimed that they did not have nuclear weapons on their soil or anything, as well as the Canadian government and a few other governments, don't get me wrong. But basically, these countries claimed that they were nuke-free, that they didn't have anything, so they weren't a part of it. But behind scenes, the U.S. had deals with Canada and with the Danish government to basically let them have nukes on their soil, so they were American nukes on foreign soil. So that's the situation that was going on. But this aircraft crashed with four nuclear bombs on it. So basically, we had 4 bombs crash with this plane in Greenland. And it was technically all against what the international community was saying. I don't know if it was against international law, but basically these governments were all lying about whether or not they had nukes. So to get you guys to understand the situation with the 4 nukes on this flight, I'll have to explain they had a safety device. So in the world, we know officially of, I think it's 12 total incidents of nuclear bombs not detonating, but accidentally being dropped in all kinds of situations, like fields and stuff. So we know it's happened approximately 12 official times, but only one time have the bombs gone off. But the bombs did not go off in the sense that the hydrogen bombs were ignited and they therefore exploded in a nuclear explosion. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, there was a secondary device on all nukes always, and this device was designed to use chemical explosives on the bomb to destroy it, so that way no foreign country or terrorist group or, etc. could get their hands on a nuclear bomb. So the safety device ensured that no intact nukes were, going to be stolen from them. If they had a situation of that happening, they would just blow it up. So by an accident in this crash, those things went off and blew up the nukes. So just imagine the fact that in Greenland, you have the Labrador Current, which brings cold water down along the coast of Labrador and along the Atlantic coastline past Newfoundland, interjects with the Gulf Stream, and that's the warm one, and that's why Newfoundland particularly is foggy. But that brings into question how that water is mixing within Baffin Bay, that water is mixing within the St. Lawrence River, and that entire region, the Gulf of St. Lawrence. So that means that if the contaminants were to get into the water very easily and quickly these contaminants would be spread throughout, the Atlantic coastlines throughout North America. So what happened was the nukes were contaminated. I think it was a total area of, it was like 10 kilometers for the nukes, and there's 32 kilometers of debris, supposedly. But what went on is they tried a recovery operation, because they knew that when the polar day came, the ice there would melt and result in all this contaminated nuclear stuff getting deposited straight into the ocean. Everybody knew it was a problem, and on top of that, they had to keep this quiet because nobody was supposed to know about this. This was against what everybody was saying. So basically, they had for 6 months, I might be wrong, I think it was between 4 and 6 months to clean up, and they got around 90%, they said in the report, of the contaminants from the nuclear devices, but 10% of it was unrecovered, and apparently they even lost part of a nuke that is still down there to this day. But that being said, we have to think about how 10% of that nuclear material was injected into the ocean. So this particularly bothers me because no study has ever been done on Atlantic marine food. So basically, even though it was only 4 nuclear devices that were exploded, the uranium or plutonium or whatever was in it got deposited into the waters along with other natural radioactive stuff, and other reactions happened and stuff. But you have to remember that that is being directly deposited into the ocean, into a feeding part of the ocean to make it even worse. This isn't like a oil spill in some random part of the ocean. This is literally, the ice is one of the driving forces behind the Labrador current. So this water melts, or this ice melts, and it brings all this material with it. So it is going to be spread. So that 10% that wasn't recovered was therefore deposited into the Labrador stream. That means that all the food, all the fish, all the sea life in that area could quite possibly have traces, only traces now. Don't get me wrong, you're not going to have a gram of plutonium or some crap like that. That'd be crazy. No, what I mean is, you're going to definitely have atoms and stuff of these nuclear or of these radioactive materials. And it only takes a couple to really fuck you. Like, I'm not joking, guys. In physics, we learned how dangerous stuff like radioactive materials really are. It's crazy. But just to make this even worse, if you live on the Atlantic coastline, specifically in the Atlantic waters of Canada, gastrointestinal cancers are much, much higher. And that could quite possibly be because our main food, our main nutrition is seafood caught from the Atlantic waters throughout, the territories down to in Baffin Bay and into the St. Lawrence and Newfoundland and the cod fishery on the Grand Banks. All that could be contaminated in some way with radioactive material. And there's never been a study on that problem in the waters. In fact, almost all the information on the crash in the first place is still classified by the U.S. government to this day. So, to make things even worse, guys, in 1995, some of the Danish workers who were working to clean up that 90% they got tried to sue the U.S. government for not compensating them for radiation illness. And that's because they could not prove that radiation was the cause for their illness. Now, it's a little fishy because they all had radiation poisoning, but anyways, that's besides the point. That just to remind you that this was definitely a nuclear event that was not very good. So, like I said, guys, it's definitely something concerning. I hope that the U.S. government can one day open up to this information, and I hope the Canadian government specifically, or the Danish government, works to do a study on if there are nuclear contamination in the marine life in the marine ecosystem of the Atlantic Ocean. Like, this is an actual thing, guys. It does not take much more than a couple atoms of this radioactive material to, you know, increase your cancer risk. It's crazy. I mean, you can look at the lung cancer of someone who smokes cigarettes. For some of you who don't know, the main cancer-causing problem with cigarettes is not, you know, the smoke. It's the fact that there's naturally a radioactive there's a radioactive atom. I can't remember what it is. I think it's radium or something. I'm not sure. But basically, that is a big reason why you get cancer, because you can look at the skin tissue, the skin graft or whatever of the lung, and you could see that it's like lines going from all directions, and those lines are caused from the radioactive atom shooting electrons up, and it is a legitimately observed thing. So it's crazy, because it really doesn't take much to cause damage. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is not about a conspiracy theory. I personally am very bad. I really don't like conspiracy theories. But that being said, this is a legitimate thing that I would love to know some more about if they would release some more information. And if I could learn some more about this, or if anybody knows more about this, it'd be great to share that information in the comments below. But if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe for more awesome stuff like this, and I'll see you guys next time.